Hey everyone, it's Will from Since That. Thanks a lot for watching this second session on analyzing finance data in the modern Excel. So as a really quick recap, in the previous session, what we did is we connected our workbook to financial data in Yahoo Finance. So this is the web page. We connected to Apple's historical stock price and imported this table into Power Query, which is now labeled data in Excel 2016. So if I show the queries and open this up, I have the Apple table. So this has 5 years worth of historical data on Apple stock price. And then what we did is we uploaded this raw data into our Power Pivot data model. So if I open up the Power Pivot window with Manage, and this is our raw data table now sitting in the data model. So the objective of this session is actually to really briefly finalize the querying phase, which we started in the first session, so that we can then move on to the analysis phase, which is really I think the really powerful and interesting aspect of this Power BI suite in Excel, especially for an analyst who's looking to build much deeper insights into their organization's data. So to finalize the data, I just want to show you a little fix we need to make in the data querying. So the idea, if you'll remember, was to create a connection to the Yahoo Finance data such that with any new refresh, we would get the latest data available. Let's test that right away by clicking refresh here in the ribbon in Power Pivot. As I select refresh and then close, I noticed that a new row has been added to the top, and that's the 7th of October. The day we actually produced the query was on the 7th of October, but at the time, the latest available data was on the 6th. So we now have this new day that's been added because the closing price of Apple stock was released on the web page for the 7th of October by the time the markets closed that day. Now the problem is today is October 18th. And I would like to view the latest data available. In other words, I'd like to see up to the closing price on October 17th. So to fix this problem, we're actually going to go back to Power Query. Again, if I go back to data and show the queries, I can open the Apple data table here in Power Query. And to understand a little bit more about what's going on in the back end, we're going to select the source here in the applied steps. So this is just, if I expand the formula bar here, this is just a description of what it is exactly we are querying. So it's pretty straightforward here. We're taking a CSV document that's from the web. So that's essentially what this language is saying. And we've also got this link that we got when we did the right click on the hyperlink in the Yahoo Finance website, which we then pasted into the Power Query data connection. So if I take a closer look at this link that I've highlighted here, I noticed that there's a couple of dates that are mentioned. So I see that there's the 9/7/2011, and that makes sense because in our request in Yahoo Finance, we asked for the last 5 years worth of data. And then I also see that there's 9/7/2016. So the date that I produced the query on is also here in the hyperlink. And what this is actually doing is it's setting an end date on the information that we're requesting from Yahoo Finance. So it's basically saying start on the 9/7/2011 and stop on the 9/7/2016. And we want to remove that limitation. We can keep the start date, but we want to remove the end date so that we always have the latest available information. And so the little trick that we figured out was that you can just remove the equals and then the date. So just after 2011 ND from the start date, you can take off the end date ending with 2016 NG and just remove that. And then you can press enter. And now you'll notice in our table below, so we can go back to the last step, and you'll see that the latest date is now the 17th of October. So that's great. This little fix has worked. The data has been refreshed to the latest available information, which is yesterday's closing numbers, so from the 17th of October. And I can now close and load. And as I open my Power Pivot window, I now see that the data has updated to the 17th of October. So this refresh was made automatically after we closed and loaded the Power Query window. But in the future, all we're going to need is to go into the Power Pivot environment and click refresh and get the latest data. So we're now done with the Power Query aspect of things. We will no longer need to open that up before. We'll be able to focus on the analysis phase, and that's exactly what we'll do in the next session, in which I'll introduce a few basic measures. We'll create our first basic KPIs within Power Pivot, so you can really get a grasp of how powerful this tool is and how much potential there is if you're manipulating data and trying to create better insights within your organization. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.